You can find me on my blog at mpd.me or on Twitter at mpd. Let's get into it. Most people have many to-do lists in their life. To-do lists can come in the form of email inboxes, and you may have one for work, one for your personal email. They may be in the form of to-do lists that you've created and actively use, and you may have numerous of those as well. In this case, this example you can see on the screen here, a work to-do list and a personal to-do list. If I asked an individual who had this type of makeup of to-do activity what they should be focusing on today, if they can only do 3 things to maximize their value, you probably wouldn't get a good answer. And moreover, if they did come up with the right answer, it would take them quite a while to sort out which things they should be focusing on. It's just not intuitive. So let's do an experiment. If we were to assign value to each of those those action items, it might make things a little bit more clear. So let's define value as things that are either urgent and or important. And I went through the example here and put a 1 to 5 score against each item, a 5 being high, and you can start to see the things that should be focused on. And I've highlighted them here. You've got in your work email, you got to follow up with Bob. You have something in your work to-do list, your personal to-do list, and nothing in your personal email. Now the problem is, if you just happen to say, hey, I got to do work, and you open your personal email, you would have been jamming through all of that and not focusing on the things that matter the most. If you could only do 3 things in a given day, and you started with your personal email, not knowing what else was out there, not being able to recall offhand, you may have done the wrong things and failed to maximize your productivity. Your productivity is clearly maximized when you do 3 items, in this case, that have a 5 value, meaning you've done 15 points of value for the given day. So how do we ensure that people are doing the most valuable things at every given moment? The first step is to consolidate your email inboxes and to consolidate your to-do lists. The goal is to have 1 inbox and 1 to-do list. And this will include things in both cases that are personal or work-related. It doesn't matter. It's all things that have to be done. And so I use Gmail for this. I pop about 10 different email addresses into one place, and I don't care which email received the message. All I want to know is which emails do I have to do and be able to engage them in the right way. Similarly, on the to-do list side, I've got personal things and work-related things. All I need to know is what will create the most value at this minute, in this day, to make sure I'm maximizing the use of my time, maximizing the value created by using my time. And so when you clean these up, it should look something like this, which is a lot more intuitive and a lot easier to process. But it's still 2 different to-do lists. Your inbox, the to-do list other people create for you, and the to-do list you manage, which is the one you create for yourself. It's not yet completely manageable. What I recommend people do to get this down to 1 to-do list is they start each productivity session by burning through their single inbox. If there's an email that can be responded to in under 30 seconds, respond to it on the spot and archive it. Get everything out of the inbox. If it's an activity that takes longer, I recommend moving that activity into your to-do list and then archiving the email. There's a great feature in Gmail. If you click on an email and it's open on your screen, you can actually copy the URL in the browser, and that is a custom URL that opens that email up later. So there's no downside to archiving the email. You don't have to worry about not being able to find it or having to search for it, because you can paste that link in your to-do list and get back to that item later and get your email inbox down to 0. And so what this looks like after you've finished a process is you're able to zero out your inbox, make sure you've addressed everything, nothing has been forgotten or missed. And then you can have a complete to-do list that has all of the activities you need to do in one place, which is very intuitive to process and look at. With everything in one place, it's also relatively easy to sort based on value, and make sure you're focusing on the top of the list, the things that matter most in any given time. Let me show you how this looks. I use Wunderlist personally, and you can see here's an example to-do list, actually the exact same content that you saw in the Excel sheet a second ago. So what I simply have is I have 2 stars, the red stars, next to the things I'm going to do today. Everything else is below and it doesn't matter. And then I'll be able to drag and sort the things that I'm going to do today in order that I'm actually going to do them. It makes it very simple. When I actually start working, I literally just look at the top item and I do it. Now in this case, in this example, calling the client was actually sourced from an email that I received. And you can see the custom link I mentioned earlier on the right side, pasted in the item here, in the task item, that links directly to the email in my Gmail account, giving me all the context and content I need to solve this call client item directly. And the beauty of that, again, is that since it's available here, there is no hesitation or thinking twice about archiving it and getting my email inbox down to 0, which obviously makes it very manageable and ensures that I've engaged everything that needs to be engaged. The goal of maximizing productivity is to ensure that you're always working on the most important thing. The way to do that is to get everything onto one list and to sort it by value. If you do that, you will drive more value and be more efficient. I hope that helped.